Hi, it's Regina Huber from Transform Your Performance. And today I want to introduce Julie Schuster. Hi, Julie. It's so lovely to see you after such a long time.
It is great to see you too, Regina.
It's a delight to have you on today, Julie. So Julie Schuster is the only interior designer that unites the distinctive combination of certifications in the highly desired disciplines of interior design, Feng Shui, and living in place design. She creates wellness-focused interior design solutions for all homes and working spaces that are innovational, functional, and personalized. Julie's extensive training in the design industry includes the certification of Certified Living in Place Professional, whose focus is on creating environments that are safe and accessible to those with physical limitations, writing and speaking on the subject extensively. Additionally, she's a certified red ribbon professional with the International Feng Shui Guild. Julie is a contributing writer, published in Designers Today and Kitchen and Bath Business, as well as serving on the Editorial Advisory Board for Kitchen and Bath Business. She's currently a brand ambassador for Robern Cabinetry and is recognized by Kitchen and Bath Design News as a top 50 design innovators for 2019. Julie is an esteemed speaker on the subject of interior design and Feng Shui, as well as universal design and multi-generational designing. And you can contact Julie at jlsdesignstudio.com or via the company website at www.jlsdesignstudio.com. And I'll also put those links in the description, so don't worry about it too much right now. Again, welcome, Julie.
Thank you, Regina. And wow, I didn't realize I had given you quite so much to have to relate about me, but thank you for all of that. That's great.
It always happens, you know, we think they're so short, our bios, and then when we speak them, it happens to me too, because I'm often interviewed, so then we speak them, they sound longer, but it was actually perfect. So thank you for that.
Thank
you. It gives our viewers an idea of who you are, and that's really, really important. So Julie and I met years ago at a networking event, and she invited me to lead a panel and speak at an IDS event in New York City. And when was that again, Julie? In 2016 or so.
I would say maybe even 15, but yes, you're right. It's been a number of years.
Yeah, I think it was 2016, but you know, I look it up, but oh my God, 5 years ago already. That's wow, just to think about it. So Julie has really profound knowledge and expertise as to how to Feng Shui your living and office space. And I have experienced some of her presentations, which were highly enlightening. So I'm always impressed with all her knowledge and her creativity. And in this video, we'll focus specifically on your working from home office space, because that's the reality for most people right now, right?
That's for sure.
So, yeah.
This last year has brought on working from home in a much bigger light even than we ever could have anticipated.
Right? Yeah, I agree with you. And so Julie will share some fascinating tips that we can all implement, whether we live in a small apartment or a large house, doesn't really matter, right, Julie? And we decided to make this a series where we'll talk about topics like the role of color, what to do in small spaces or in spaces shared with others, and how you can keep your energy high as well, your spirits high, and much more. And I'll throw in a few tips on my end as well that can help you stay focused, productive, and in high energy mode. Julie, again, so lovely to have you on, and I cannot wait for you to share specific tips from your treasure chest of knowledge and on how to optimize our working from home office space. And okay, so this first video is just also to remind everybody that we want to share more videos with you. So definitely hit the subscribe button so you don't miss the following episodes of this series. And yeah, so why don't you briefly explain, Julie, what Feng Shui actually is? So we'll kind of keep it short because some people already may know, but just in a nutshell.
Well, Feng Shui is really all about the study of energy. You know, we all believe that everything in the universe is energy, right? But it's been an Eastern philosophy for thousands of years already. Uh, and really the focus of their thought process is that there are different flavors of energy, if you will, and energy has its own sort of not personality. I don't mean it in quite, you know, quite that woo-woo of a way, but we really believe that in feng shui, energy can affect us in different ways depending on where it's coming from and what focus we're putting on it.
Absolutely, and I love that because, as you know, and probably remember, is that in my signature framework, Powerful Leadership Transformation, or PLT, one of the 4 pillars is a body and energy conscious presence. And I'm very, very passionate about energy, and I studied a lot of also holistic modalities on the side, and all of this flows into my work as well. And I always find it surprising how little we talk about energy in business, if we now know, and science has proven, that all we are is energy, right? So we really should be talking more about it. So thank you for sharing that explanation, which was even shed some light onto my understanding of it. So thank you for that. So one topic that always fascinates me is color. Yeah. When I owned my businesses in Argentina and Brazil, a bed and breakfast and a holistic cultural center, all the walls in those spaces were painted in different colors. So for example, at the B&B, each room had a specific color scheme, you know, including my own room. And I looked up some basic color psychology, but I also used colors that I personally loved, and mostly quite strong colors, actually. Like, you know, you could imagine Mexican colors like yellow and green, red and blue, blue and green mixed up. So I really love colorful spaces personally, although this is a bit less colorful here, it's more earth color. But, you know, but I do love color. And so immediately, even in this space, you know, when I moved in, all the walls were like light gray or white, and I had to bring in some color. I immediately bought 2 yellow chairs, and I'm sitting on one of them. I don't know if you can see that right now from here. Not very much, but if I pull it down a little bit, you can see it. Yes. So I immediately bought a carpet that's really colorful and all of that. So I'm really curious what you have to say about color, and specifically for our office space.
Well, you know, color is literally the most transformative thing that we can do in a space. I mean, I always say that literally we don't appreciate what actually just putting a fresh coat of paint on a wall, even one wall, but all walls in particular, can do to the energy of a space, as well as the beauty, the personality, in every aspect. It is mind-blowing how little it takes to really transform. And color is definitely one of the most important things that we can do. And you're absolutely correct in one respect. It doesn't have to be on the walls. It can be in our accessories and our furnishings as well. It's just a matter of balance and creating the whole. You know, when we're talking about color from a feng shui perspective, we start with something that's called 5 elements theory. And basically, you kind of encapsulated it when you were talking earlier before. Literally everything in the universe, including us, is a particular element predominantly. I mean, people are much more complex. We're not just one element, but we do have primary elements. And that's one of the things that I like to take into consideration when I'm creating a color story for a particular project, is the colors of the people that reflect the personalities of the people that are going to be living in that space, whether it's one person or a family of 5. It really is very important to make sure that that's part of the process when we're creating color. And the other thing that we want to do is we want to think about where the deficits or where the things that we want to enhance or build up are in the space. So if it's, let's say our career gua that we want to be concentrating on, well, then we want to be thinking about our fame and reputation. What kind of colors are going to help us be seen, be heard, be able to, and this is very important, this is a big part of what the fame and reputation gua is about, is going to be able to reflect our real selves the way we want to be seen by the world. So that has an awful lot to do with the type of colors that I would put into a working office environment for sure.
Yeah, well, that's really impressive, Julie. So you know, I always learn so much from you. That's really wonderful. So in my own experience, for example, yellow brightens up my life. Yeah. And looking at lush green vegetation always feels reinvigorating to me. It nurtures me. So whenever my tip here would be, whenever you feel depleted these days or stuck or even depressed, what can help is taking a walk around the block, or even better in a park, and focusing specifically on the trees and on other plants, on the flowers if there are any, and even touching them as well, right? Maybe hugging a tree. I'm long over feeling ridiculous about hugging a tree, you know, because I know about the power that trees can share with us. And even just looking at them and at that lush color of those plants. And I always say, you know, only people who haven't tried these things laugh at those who do, because they just don't know what it gives us, the tremendous power that comes from it. So just try it, or sit under a tree for 5 minutes and look up at the colors, whatever works, at the color of the sky. We are all part of nature, and we need nature to be nurtured and energized. So that would be my little 5 cents to color.
Well, what you're talking about would be a topic that I refer to as biophilia. And this was something that when I was studying my feng shui training, this was the word that I heard for the first time, is what biophilia is. And what it really boils down to in plain layman's terms is our need to have an ongoing relationship with the natural world. This is an absolute essential to us, and which is why you're saying, when I'm feeling a little blue, I take a walk outside. When I get up in the morning, I find that getting outside and walking in Central Park, I'm in the middle of New York City, so in Central Park in the mornings is a fabulous way for me to set my productivity for the day. I come back and I'm energized, I'm ready to go to work, I'm reflective. And one of the beautiful things about working from home is that we can, in a lot of cases, be in charge of our schedule a little bit, and we can function, you know, a lot of that time that we would have used getting back and forth to our work locations, we can now use to run outside for that quick cup of coffee, or take that quick, as you say, walk around the park. And I strongly recommend that when we decorate our interior spaces, we include a little of the natural world in it. I love water, so anything that has to do with a body of water has a great deal to do with what I'm going to be putting in my environments, as you see over my shoulder here.
I was just going to refer to that, actually. So I saw the pillow there, and you know, also the painting. It's a little hard to see the exact details, but I did see a little bit of what it's about. And I also love water. I'm a Pisces, so I'm of course very connected to everything water. Yeah, and I can also see that you are integrating these elements in your own working environment and living environment. So that's really wonderful. Yeah. Also, you can see in my background, I included some natural elements here. This is a leaf of a palm tree, and then there are 2 other pieces from a palm tree. So there's a little bit of a different design to what I'd usually have had. And I have some other elements that I'm just picking up in the street, literally right now, just to add some extra oomph. And because I have more space than I used to have, so I have, you know, I can fill more space.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
I have less space than I used to have, and the interesting part of it is, one would think that by being in a smaller environment where I have to be much more organized, that would have changed my perception of my space and quite the opposite is true. I'm very content to be a little more organized and a little more proactive in keeping clutter at bay. And again, it's astounding how much just getting rid of the extraneous stuff in your life and in your workspace can really just make total change in your attitude about where you are too.
Absolutely, absolutely. I agree with that. A few little movements here and there, moving things in a different place and having a clean desk, all these different elements, right? Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to talk more about that next time, especially when we talk also about small spaces. So thank you so much for being with us today. And everybody listening and watching, do make sure to check out Julie's LinkedIn profile and her website. And again, could you repeat the website for a moment, Julie, for our audience?
The website is www.jlsdesignstudio.com. All one word, all small letters. So
okay, and I'm going to put it in the
on LinkedIn is Julie Schuster.
Okay, awesome. Yes, and I'm going to put it also in the description to this video. And yes, there will be more. Julie will be joining us again in more episodes on how to feng shui your home office. Watch out for them. Subscribe to this channel so you don't miss them. And we will see you in our next video, where we will talk about how to get the most out of limited space. Julie has some great tips for small office spaces, and as always in the Feng Shui way to make sure it benefits you and your work. And if you like this video, click on like, and yeah, and feel free to also leave an appreciative comment for Julie. I'm sure she would love that, and she deserves it so very much. And also, you know, I think, Julie, you have a newsletter, right? Because I'm subscribed to it.
We have a blog, and we would love to have you go to the website and get sign up for our blogs. It's on a page of the website. You can just go there and sign on, and we don't sell it to anybody. We don't give it away. We don't even over inundate your inbox. It's only a couple of times a month, but there's a lot of great tips on there.
And I can attest to that. So thank you. That's great. And if you'd like to join my mailing list, go to followregina.com and sign up for it now, and see you next time.